Sheridan Smith is set to reveal on Saturday's episode of The Jonathan Ross Show that she filled her home 6 donkeys and 6 dogs because she wanted her son Billy to grow up around animals. The 40-year-old actress who performs on the show alongside her icon Gary Barlow admits her working-class parents never let her have pets, so she got carried away buying animals when her son was born. She says, "When I was younger we grew up very working class and I begged my mum and dad to let me have animals and they were like no. Now I have a son who is 17 months old and I think I wanted him to grow up around animals." Sheridan explains how she initially had 4 donkeys, adding, "I didn't know they were pregnant. I did have 4 and then suddenly they got fat. Suddenly, there were legs coming out of one of them. It was stuck and I watched a YouTube video and I'm pulling the legs. I became like a donkey midwife." Sheridan is joined on the show by former Take That star Gary, as they pair have recently collaborated on a Christmas song called How Christmas Is Supposed to Be. On his decision to write a Christmas album, Gary says, "It started last Christmas. I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt a little bit robbed last Christmas. Christmas came and arrived and went very quickly. Lots of people were not in our house that we wished were. My little answer to that was that I kept nipping off to the studio and was writing and demoing these Christmas songs and having a great time." Sheridan also reveals she is a long-term fan of Gary's, saying, "I've never told Gary but he was my favorite. I love brothers as well, but Take That, I grew up with them. We met backstage at the Royal Variety Show and I was dressed as Scylla. He, Gary, came backstage and I said hiya. I'm a big fan. Do you want to take my number?" And then when we were in lockdown, Gary did crooner sessions with Sting and all these amazing people and asked me to join in and then rang me and said he'd written a Christmas song and I was honored to jump at the chance." Speaking about his popular crooner sessions, Gary says, "We did 90 sessions in all over the 2 lockdowns. It was just brilliant. The fun was the bit you didn't see. The fun was calling up someone like Sting and saying what shall we sing? This was all the fun we had behind the scenes. For anyone who doesn't want to know the magic of this, shut your ears, we had to do our sessions separately. I would wake up in the morning and before taking the dogs for a walk I'd look at my email and a couple of sessions would have come in. It's so exciting when you open that email and see the performer doing their bit." Sheridan reveals on The Jonathan Ross Show that her song choice for her own crooner sessions collaboration with Gary was Endless Love. She explains, "It's a bit of a karaoke classic for me. I was filming in Benidorm years ago and I was going out with James Corden and he flew over to Benidorm and we were in some karaoke bar singing it. I sent it to you, Gary, didn't I? I love that song." She adds. Talking about the moment he listened to Sheridan's part, Gary says, "It actually made me emotional because she's such a brilliant actress, she'd put her heart into it." After the candid interview, Sheridan and Gary take to the stage to perform their duet How Christmas Is Supposed to Be. Sheridan looks sensational in a daring side-split dress that features a sequin panel up the sides as she prepares to belt out the tune. Gary tinkled the ivories on a grand piano as the pair duet with Sheridan surrounded by festive decorations to set the scene. Gary then gets up from his seat as the performance amps up a gear with the pair harmonizing on the Christmas track.